It's the morning weather briefing. This is for Monday, the 8th of July. This is James Spann. Alabama's weather pretty typical for summertime today. We believe the highest coverage of showers and thunderstorms will be during the day tomorrow, and then the weather trending pretty dry for the latter half of this week and over the upcoming weekend. We'll check the upper air look this morning. Obviously, the dominant feature, it is the tropical system coming into Texas this morning, which is now Hurricane Beryl. That's the radar out of Galveston. You can see the system is moving inland between Corpus Christi and Houston. Houston on the wet side of the circulation. Much more on this tropical system in just a second. Around here, not much happening on radar. We note a few small showers up over the Tennessee Valley into parts of Mississippi and West Tennessee. It's a muggy morning. Mostly 70s, although Birmingham at 81. That's that urban heat island effect. Mostly 70s elsewhere. And again today, parts of the state with a heat advisory, and this is a National Weather Service criteria thing we often talk about. That's where they think because of the higher dew points, the heat index could hit 105 today. But of course, where showers develop, heat won't be a problem, with temperatures falling back in the 80s for the showers that form this afternoon. The really big heat problems are out west, where they've got this upper ridge, and they've seen some record heat over the weekend. And we note flash flood watches today in the path of Beryl from eastern Texas up through parts of Arkansas, southern Missouri, and the southern tip of Illinois. And in association with Beryl, there could be a few isolated spin-up tornadoes today. We have an enhanced risk around Shreveport, Louisiana. The broader risk runs from Texas, eastern Texas and Louisiana up into parts of Missouri and southern Illinois. This outlook runs through 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then during the day tomorrow, a marginal risk north of Alabama. And again, there could be a few very brief isolated spin-up tornadoes from Memphis back up towards Cincinnati. And on day 3, which is Wednesday, again with the remnants of Beryl, a marginal risk over northern Pennsylvania and southern New York. Here's a look at the rain for the next 7 days. And, of course, the big rains with Beryl west of Alabama, eastern Texas, Arkansas, southern Missouri, up through parts of Illinois, Indiana. In Alabama, not a lot. Again, this is valid through Monday morning of next week. Rain amounts about 1/2 inch. And again, we'll see scattered showers and storms today. The better coverage of the rain will be tomorrow. And then after that, the weather looks pretty dry Wednesday through the weekend ahead. And we still need that rain. This is the latest drought monitor. This was the one released last week. And you can see that parts of the state, those darker shades of yellow there, that's a moderate drought. And the new monitor is going to be released Thursday of this week, and we'll see how it all plays out. So in the tropics, other than Beryl, it is just absolutely dead. And we can celebrate that. There's a lot of dry, dusty air off the African continent. That's the 2-day outlook, and this is the 7-day outlook. So now that Beryl is inland, we just don't see another tropical system through mid-month, through mid-July. But again, there's a look at the radar presentation of Beryl this morning. The winds have increased to 80 miles per hour on the 4 a.m. advisory. And, of course, that should be the peak now that this thing is inland. And, again, the Hurricane Center forecast was really good in terms of intensity here. And, again, obviously, Houston, Galveston on the onshore flow side of this thing. So they're getting that deep plume of moisture coming in off the Gulf, and they've got just soaking rain this morning. The wind is not really a problem here. It's the chance of flooding. There's obviously a flash flood warning for the Houston metro. And we note that one small tornado warning polygon just north of downtown Houston. There could be a few brief isolated spin-up tornadoes in this. But the main concern, it's just the heavy rain and freshwater flooding, although there obviously will be some storm surge flooding as well down toward Galveston. So a very messy way to start the day. The remnant circulation of Beryl will come up through Little Rock, Indianapolis, and just south of Detroit. And again, the core range with this thing will stay west of Alabama. But again, it will help to pull a little deeper moisture in here tomorrow, and we hope that will be a day where most folks get some rain. Let's go through modeling. Model fans, this is the GFS, the 06Z run, valid today at 4. And you can see the trough that is Beryl off to the west. The most widespread rain to the west. Remnant circulation of Beryl north of Houston. We'll check the high-resolution HER model, valid this evening at 6 o'clock, and you can see the classic case of random scattered showers and storms. You might pick up a half-inch of rain. You go down the street, they get nothing. And I'd say the chance of any one spot getting rain today is in the 40 to 50% bracket. And I get the idea the radar coverage might be a little higher than that. But again, we can't promise rain for everybody. But no doubt tomorrow is going to be the day where we'll have the highest coverage of rain. This is tomorrow. And understand, still tomorrow we can't promise rain for everybody. That's never a promise in the summertime. But the chance of any one spot getting wet up in the 60 to 70% bracket. Odds are pretty good. And, of course, heat level's not bad because of clouds and rain. Many spots will likely stay in the 80s. And then Wednesday, as Beryl moves northeast, a surge of dry air begins to come in here. And we'll mention maybe a lingering shower Wednesday, but a pretty good chunk of the state will likely be dry. And many spots on Wednesday will hold in the mid to upper 80s. Hey, come on now. That sounds good. Thursday looks just dry. Lower dew points. Thursday morning will be in the 60s. It'll be a little cooler at night. The high Thursday, low 90s. The sky will be sunny. The humidity value's low. Same thing on Friday. Temperatures creeping back in the mid-90s. But again, the low dew points will make it feel somewhat decent. And I just don't think it changes much for the weekend. This is Saturday and this is Sunday. We'll bring in the chance of a few widely scattered showers on Sunday, but it sure looks like a decent chunk of the weekend will be dry, with highs getting up in the mid, maybe upper 90s in spots as heat levels rise. And a week from today, this is Monday the 15th of July, got a ridge all across the deep south. And again, that looks like just kind of hot, muggy weather with maybe a few spotty showers about. Let's go out 10 days. This is Wednesday, the 17th. Ridge holding in place. And again, classic summer weather. Partly sunny, hot, humid, scattered afternoon and evening showers and storms. Here's a look at rain for Birmingham. This is coming off the European ensemble. The mean is up there a little over 1.5 inches between now and the 23rd of July. Check the heat levels off the NBM, National Blend of Models. Look at the numbers coming down. Now, today we've got 97 and then 87 on Wednesday. That's a 10-degree drop. That's meaningful here in summer. But then we bounce back to 97 by the time the weekend gets here. And the next good cold front, we all know that's going to be in late September, probably. This is the 8 to 14-day guidance. This is for July 15th through July 21st. We're in the middle of the heat of summer. Temperatures will likely be above average. How about this deal over the weekend? This was clearly the most interesting situation over the weekend. This was Saturday afternoon at Lay Lake, the Coosa River, just north of the Lay Lake Dam. This thing is a multiple vortex water spout that managed to spin up over the water, similar to the water spouts that you see in the Gulf of Mexico if you're at the beach sometimes. And look at that. I mean, this is a classic multiple vortex water spout. And those things, once they get inland, they typically dissipate. They don't produce any damage, but they can certainly, you don't want to be out there in a boat, I'll put it that way. And like that guy in that boat over there, he might want to kind of get away from that. And then yesterday, we had the fall streak holes up over the Tennessee Valley. A lot of folks saw those. And what's cool about the fall streak hole in this case, you see the rainbow colors. That's a circumhorizontal arc within the fall streak hole. And these are typically initiated by aircraft. Those are fun to see. They're not that rare, but not that common either. And even without the fall streak holes, we had some of the circumhorizontal arcs across the state yesterday, and those are caused by cirrus clouds. Those are ice crystals, and as you know, they kind of act like prisms and can do cool things like this. So basically some very cool sky optics yesterday. So how about a Blue Angels flyover? It's always fun when you're down there on a Sunday afternoon and the Blue Angels are coming home from an air show. I think they were up in New York State over the weekend. And underneath that, somebody caught this. We had an engagement going on here underneath the Blue Angels. That was cool. But again, just a great sunset. And if you're headed down to the Gulf Coast, we see no real problems. As always, watch for the flags. But in terms of the weather on the central Gulf Coast, and whenever I say that, that's the stretch from the Alabama Gulf Coast over to Panama City, it looks just fine. No tropical trouble. Again, we see no tropical issues at least through mid-July. with lots of sunshine down there each day. And yeah, there could be a storm from time to time, but that's just life on the coast. All right, well, let's see what's going on this week. Kind of back in the saddle again here. This morning I will be at the Bessemer Public Library for a program there. Then on Wednesday, going to be at Capstone Village. That's a retirement community in Tuscaloosa. Thursday, the Jasper Public Library at 9 o'clock for a program there. And then Friday, St. Clair County in Springville for a program for their summer program there at Springville Elementary School. And I do believe there will be a book signing on Saturday, but I don't have the details yet. As soon as I get that later today from the publishing company, I'll pass that along. Don't forget Weather Brains, our weekly show for weather dweebs, geeks, nerds, dorks, and weenies. That's tonight at 7 Central on the Weather Brains YouTube channel, youtube.com/weatherbrains. Most people listen to the podcast version. That'll be out tomorrow morning. And we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.